My backlog on Steam is huge, with hundreds of games I've never even played. By this point, I've spent thousands of dollars on games, and most of them just rot somewhere in my library. But recently, I have been determined to change that, as I can no longer justify buying new games when I've almost got 50% of my library that I haven't even opened once. I've already gotten through a nice bit of games like Yakuza, Jet Set Radio, and Outer Wilds, which I bought all the way back in 2020, and I'm only now getting around to. For a change of pace, I wanted to go with something a little bit different, so I ended up going with a game called Fatum Betula. Fatum Betula is a game that was released back in 2020 and is a short atmospheric exploration game, and depending on how you look at it, some might even call it a horror game. It feels weird calling it a horror game because at its core it's not really trying to scare you, but its atmosphere and presentation can definitely evoke a sense of uneasiness. I'm not going to sit here and explain the whole plot to you, as I'd rather you watch this, and if you're interested, go and experience the game for yourself, as I find it's best to play blind, and with it only being $5, I mean, it's definitely worth the money. However, I will give you a basic premise of what it's about. Upon entering the game, you are greeted with a small hall and a set of stairs. Once you travel up the stairs, you'll notice a tree with its roots dangling down and a large stretch of water that goes on for miles. If you approach the end of the walkway and simply wait, you'll be greeted by a large black orb hovering towards you. Once you speak to it, the creature will give you a vague explanation of the world you are in and what you are meant to do. After this conversation, you'll be handed 3 empty flasks, and the door behind you will now be unlocked, giving you access to the outside world. There isn't very much direction other than you obviously want to fill your flask with something other than the water. Like I mentioned before, this game is very short, but it very much makes up for that for just how well each area is made. When you walk into these for the first time, you immediately feel this sense of curiosity as you start thinking about what those flasks could be used for and the different paths you're able to take. The area and the music work perfectly with each other to add this calmness and sort of eeriness that really elevates the whole experience. The graphics are styled after an old PS1 game, which is pretty popular with indie games right now. The best thing I could compare the look of this game to is LSD Dream Emulator on the PS1, as both games have a very similar feel aesthetically. I find myself quite a few times while just playing the game, just sitting there listening to the background music and looking at the scenery that surrounded me. I love when games make me feel this way. It's common to see an area in a game with a set purpose, that points the player in the right direction, just to, continue the game. But I feel it's far more rare to find a game that makes me just sit down and want to stare for a little while and take it all in. I find atmosphere to be such an overlooked thing when playing video games, and that people don't discuss it enough. And while yeah, I totally agree, gameplay comes first, there's something nice about a world feeling so handcrafted with the intent of making a person feel immersed in what they're playing or sparking some sort of emotion, and Fatum Betula does that incredibly well. Each area has a set of NPCs to speak with that can all help you reach one of the game's many endings. They often discuss some sort of goal they want to achieve, or maybe hint at something you can do with all the items you find, like a rusty machete or one of those cool fish that you caught earlier. So it's really worth talking with everyone and seeing what they have to say. I really love all the NPCs and all of their designs. They all look really cool. They all feel really odd and they fit perfectly in a world like this, I would say. I'm a really big sucker for when NPCs have designs that don't really fit with one another, so they're all extremely different. So you just kind of roll with whatever the dev has come up with. Like, you can have this cool cat here next to this, whatever this guy is, and they all live in the exact same place. I just think that's awesome. I also really love that a lot of the NPCs don't really have too much to say. They all just have a few different lines each, but each thing that they do say alludes towards something that can really help you towards get one of the endings. Like, for example, the cat says that he's hungry, so obviously you would like to feed him, but it doesn't exactly say what you have to feed him, so if you explore for a little while, I'm sure you can find something else to give the cat that will give you some sort of a different result. The puzzles in this game aren't exactly puzzles per se, but they're more like you just kind of reading and speaking with NPCs, and you're just kind of connecting the dots on what you should be doing. As, like I mentioned before, there's no real direction, so your main objective is you want to fill these vials and bring it back to the tree and get one of the game's many different endings. But as I mentioned before, I'm not going to spoil any of that for you, so I highly recommend you just go and explore yourself, and I'm sure you'll find plenty. Besides the NPCs, there's a lot to see in this game in each area, with just like the amount of secrets that are packed into each place. Each time you find one of the secrets, they typically lead to a whole other area, which leads to even more endings. So really taking time to explore will be very rewarding, as you'll find all these cool different places you can visit. it's very much worth going for 100% of the achievements in this game, as if you look at the list, they'll show you all the different endings there are and a lot of the, obviously secret achievements. So if you go for 100%, you'll probably get to see a lot more of what the game has to offer. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. Overall, I really enjoyed my time with this game. I had a lot of fun just going in blind, looking for secrets, and trying to get all the different endings without any help. So I would really recommend you check this game out, and it's only 5 big ones, so I mean, that's pretty damn cheap, so go buy it. If you don't have $5, I'm really sorry to hear that, but this game's really good, so I highly recommend you play it. I don't think you'll regret it. Well, thanks for making it to the end of this. This video was pretty fun to make. It's something new that I'm trying, and I want to go off script a little bit here so I can just kind of talk about what I want to do with the channel going forward and the type of videos that I want to make. Going forward, I want to make more videos like this. I want to make more videos where I can just kind of sit down and talk about like games that I find, cool indie games, stuff like that. So I would like to have more of a consistent kind of schedule, less of a schedule, but more of a more consistent output, I would say. This one, I wanted to do a little bit differently. I wanted to have a bit more personality driven into these videos, like a bit more going on, but I felt like this game had a slightly different tone to it, so it didn't really work. So this will probably be a little bit different than any of the other ones going forward. So I want to make one on the game Corn Kid 64. And that game's a little bit more goofy, a little bit more silly, so I'm able to get more, a little bit more hyper or a little bit more loud, I guess. So that's what I'd like to get going forward instead of this more monotone feel I had in this video. But I already started recording, so I'm like, whatever, I'll finish it. So I am happy with how it came out, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you've been watching for a little while, I'm not sure how many of you are actually keeping up with anything that I put up. I've been mainly just doing videos with like clip dumps with all my friends and all that kind of stuff, so I think going forward, I'm still going to make those videos because I still really enjoy making them. They're really fun. So I think I'll put them on a separate channel in the future. And then going forward on this one, I'll probably just have these sort of game, I don't know if you want to call them reviews or like, I don't want to call them reviews. It's just mainly just me rambling about whatever. So I'm going to stop here. That's basically just what I wanted to talk about at the end. I hope you liked it. I don't know, thumbs up, subscribed, all that fun shit. So thank you. Have a great day.